It began with the service at Guildford Cathedral, with the Defence Secretary and the Vice Chief of the Defence Staff, and a reminder to the congregation of just how much the armed forces can do.
We remember those who place their own lives in danger in order to protect our liberties and to bring peace to the troubled regions of the earth. We give thanks for their defense of the vulnerable, the weak, and the innocent, for their assistance with humanitarian projects, and the relief of those who suffer through natural disaster.
It's that willingness to do whatever it takes in Afghanistan or Iraq, that commitment to offering training and humanitarian help in Kenya and Sierra Leone, that readiness to respond to the new challenges of our day, the growing belligerence of Moscow, the appalling senseless brutality of Islamic State that makes the work of our armed forces both so impressive and so vital.
With the attack in Tunisia fresh in people's minds and the number of dead still rising, those who came here were told to be vigilant, but politicians were keen that the tributes being paid to the armed forces weren't overshadowed by any terrorist threat.
Appalling murders in Tunisia yesterday, and I think all our thoughts at the beginning of today and throughout today will be with the families and friends of those who've lost their lives or have been injured in Tunisia yesterday. But also a stark reminder of how much we owe to the people who keep this country safe, our armed forces.
So what's happening from now on to make sure that we are safe here and in the UK more so?
Well, we keep our security under constant review. We'll look at it again today. The Prime Minister is chairing an emergency meeting of COBRA today, and the security level at big events like Armed Forces Day and the Gay Pride March in London are always kept under review, the arrangements for keeping people safe. But I think people should work with the armed forces, support them in what they're doing, and pay tribute today to them.
Why should people be so proud of the armed forces today?
Because of the work they do round the clock, helping to keep us safe. They are fighting terrorism for us. They're fighting ISIL in the Middle East, nearly 1,000 British servicemen and women there. But they've also been helping around the world. Sierra Leone, Afghanistan, serving in the Baltic, helping to reassure our NATO allies against Russian aggression. We have servicemen and women working day and night to help keep this country safe, but also to contribute to international security as well.
Now, if they are the best in the world, our armed forces, will that standard be able to be kept if obviously defence cuts go on as they are?
Well, we have the 5th biggest defence budget in the world. We have manifesto commitments not to cut the size of the regular forces and to go on increasing spending on the equipment that they need. And we'll be looking at the spending totals for the next 3 years in the autumn.
Some of the backbenchers have said, though, that it should be 3% GDP rather than the 2%. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it should be what the armed forces need. That's the most important thing of all. They should get the equipment and the support from the government of the day that they need. And we're reviewing the strategic threats facing this country in the 5-yearly Strategic Defence and Security Review at the moment.
And finally, how do you feel being here today, this service and then everything that's happening around Guildford and around the country?
Well, I feel proud, always proud of the work that our servicemen and women do around the world. This is very visible here in Guildford, but I've met them in Brunei, in Kabul, serving in the Baltic on warships last week. I've met our servicemen and women all over the world. I want them to know that people back at home really do appreciate the work that they do.
The Prime Minister's calling on the private sector to help ex-servicemen and women find work. With this, the 7th Armed Forces Day, there's a need to keep the commitment to the Covenant in the forefront of people's minds. Emma Nelson, Forces News.